What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon MLB DFS video. It is Tuesday. It is April 8th. We are back with another video. You can, if you're new to the channel and you see the length of this video, it's because we go in depth. So we go through every single game. We look at all of the pitchers. We look at all the available batters. We look at BVP. We look at how they do in handedness. We look at it all. If this is not for you and you were just looking for a handful of plays, we do have that at FTA Plus, $10 for a week, $30 for a month, $200 for a year, and $500 for a lifetime. But if this is not the type of video you were looking for, I don't want to waste your time. I've seen a few comments that someone says, I watched these things and I get nothing from them. Then go to a lineup seller, go to someone who just hands it to you, doesn't make you a better DFS player, and really doesn't play the plays that they're talking about. I won't name names, but we've talked about it in other videos. So we break down the games. The videos are longer for a reason. If you are new to the channel, we try to have giveaways every single day as well, so you can see FTA Plus. Here's all you got to do. Like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment. You do all three of those, and this video gets at least 100 or 50 likes, you will have a shot at a free week of FTA Plus. That is a week of all sports. So this week, we have MLB, we have NBA, we have the Masters, NASCAR, PGA, all of those sports are in season for us. If this video gets at least 100 likes, you'll have a chance at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on the video, you will have a chance at a $500 lifetime pass. Second way to win. Somewhere in the video, there'll be a keyword or key phrase. I will say it, you type it in, and you'll have a second shot at a free week. Now, we have not had a winner win both of them for a while. It's been a minute. I think probably NFL season or last MLB season, but it has happened in the past. And on top of that, and this was one of our subscribers here, but if you win a free year 3 times, we will upgrade that to a lifetime pass. So you got to come back to the channel. You got to leave comments every day, preferably positive comments, but negative comments probably are there too. I would not be surprised if one of the negative comments is one of the winners here. So we're gonna roll this just for getting at minimum of 50 likes. We got over 100 likes on this video, so this person right here is going to win a free month of FTA Plus. There you go. Chris McKinley, Logan Gilbert, like him, probably chalk. Houston has been terrible this year hitting. There you go. So looking at that, Chris, please email me dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp1@gmail.com. Let me know if you have a username on the website. If you do not, let me know a username, email, and password. We'll get you set up for your free month. Now, we are going to re-roll it. So yesterday's keyword was Dateline, like the show. But the majority of you, I don't know if you didn't watch it and you just put Daily, like John Daly, because of the Masters, which was not the key word. But we're going to see, I guess Dateline or Daily is going to be the keyword for today, because I maybe I mumbled it. I really don't know. Will Puget, thank you for the support. You did not have the keyword. My suggestion is always put the keyword in every comment, but do not spam the comment. There you go. Timothy Jones. Yeah. Bacon, did I mishear with all the daily? Yeah, so congratulations, Timothy. You did mishear. It was Dateline. Keith was Keith from Dateline, not Keith Hernandez, but nevertheless. So congratulations to both of you. Please email me. Tim, please let me know in the subject line you are the daily keyword winner and your username on the website. And Chris, please let me know if you have a username on the website and that you were the views winner as well. So as always, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com is there for you. If you want to check it out, go check it out. But what we do is we go through each game on the day. So we do have 2 early games here on DraftKings. Then we have the Turbo. Then we have the main slate, which this is 6 games, 7, 8, 9, 10 game main slate. There is weather concerns. We've got all of that. We're missing a couple of the pitchers. They're not out there yet, but I still wanted to bring this to you. So we're not going to deep dive into a 2-game slate, but we are going to look at that. So the Yankees at Detroit, you got the White Sox at Cleveland. So you got Tariq Skubal, who is obviously a stud, going up against Carlos Carrasco for the Yankees. So we look at the Skubal last year, didn't record a win or loss, 2.25 earned runs, did strike out a ton of batters in that game there. Then you got the Yankees bats, or Carrasco against Detroit last year did not do very well. 10 earned runs, gave up 10 runs in that game, but had 10 strikeouts as well. So it's a very weird game there. So obviously, if I'm looking, Skubal makes a ton of sense. The reason they're putting up these games early because of how bad the weather is. This one's actually really early, and tomorrow will be the same time as well. So you do have 2 games here. So Skubal coming in, we know that he's a stud. Hasn't had like a Skubal-esque start yet. It is cold, so that might factor into a little bit. Has not gone into the finished 6 innings this year. Did have 8 strikeouts against Seattle. Seattle likes to strike out. The Yankees like to strike out as well. I think they struck out 16 or 18 times against Arizona a week ago. So we look at this, and we know that he's obviously a stud, 9,500. When you have a 5 or 2 game slate here, pretty much everyone is in play. I would probably look at Skubal and Blake Lively for an early slate here. I would look at Detroit bats a little bit more, probably more like a Riley Green, Colt Keith, probably where I would lean a little bit more. Detroit bats against Carrasco, like Javi Baez has a home run, Justin Henry Malloy has a home run, but they do hit righties well. So if I were to take bats here, I'm probably looking at Colt Keith. I'm probably looking at McKinstry. Carpenter batted 305 last year with 17 bombs, and Riley Green batted 280 with 18 bombs. That's probably the stack I go with. I don't trust Carrasco. A 2-game slate, though, if you want to throw Carrasco in there just because you can. He did pitch 5 days ago, did pretty good, 5.1 innings against Arizona, 3 earned runs. They tried to give away that game. I was watching that game last Thursday. 82 pitches. So he doubled his pitch count there. 15.8 is what he got. You're basically looking about 2 to 2.5 times value when you're looking at pitching. So Carrasco for tournaments, yes. We look at that, and obviously Skubal is your cash option. Carrasco would be tournament for that game. If you were to want to go against the grain, you want to look at the Yankees bats against Skubal, like Paul Goldschmidt, he's done well. 2 home runs against him. You got Judge, who also has done well. 2 home runs against him. If you are stacking the Yankees, I'm stacking those 2 right off the bat. And then it really depends on the lineup that comes out. Being a lefty, I would probably look at Anthony Volpe a little bit. I would even probably look at Bellinger. He batted almost 300 against lefties last year, and he's got speed as well. It's kind of the same thing if you're looking for a 5-man stack. I would look a little bit at Trent Grisham, just the way he's been going if he starts. You could also probably look at a Jason Dominguez, who just seems to keep getting on base. He's a switch hitter, so lefty-righty matchup does not matter there. So in this first game right here, Skubal is your cash. Carrasco would tournament, but I kind of like Detroit offense a little bit more. Then the White Sox at the Guardians. You got Ben Lively coming in. Has not really fared very well in 2 starts, 1 against Kansas City, 1 against San Diego. Maybe this White Sox offense is the cure that he needs for whatever ails him the first couple of starts this season. So you look at that, and Ben Lively last year, 1-on-1 record, 3.95 earned runs per 9, 13 innings pitched, 6.59. So the strikeouts were low last year as well. And then Smith hasn't faced anyone on this team before, so maybe that's an advantage to the pitcher. Shane Smith coming in, 5.2 innings against Minnesota, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 3 Ks. So the walks really screwed him. Had he not had those walks, we're probably looking at 18 fantasy points on DraftKings, which is perfect at 6,500. So yeah, looking at that, probably, you could throw him in tournaments for 7,100, but again, Cleveland can hit. We saw that when they were facing the Angels last week. So then you look at Cleveland against Shane Smith, never faced him before, obviously, but against right-handed pitching, I would look at Manzardo. I would look at J-Ram if I'm stacking here. Nolan Jones I could look at. Lane Thomas. Carlos Santana being a switch hitter. If he gets in there, I could look at him as well for this stack. Then the White Sox against Ben Lively, like Matt Thaiss has a home run against him, and Mike Tauchman has a home run against him as well. Against right-handed pitching, like Luis Robert, the White Sox have been cold. I would not look at the White Sox as an offense here. So Ben Lively is in play here. I think pretty much the only pitchers that's not in play for me would be Smith. And in order that I would go is probably Skubal, Lively, Carrasco, and Smith for this 2-game very early slate. So now we move on to this turbo slate on DraftKings. Now, FanDuel usually has the all-day slate, and they're for what's annoying is both FanDuel and DraftKings, they do not talk to each other, aka their slates are never the same, which it does get annoying at some time. So we look at that. St. Louis at Pittsburgh is this first game here. No weather concerns here, so we're pretty good. I did forget to mention, today's pitching outside of like their 2 early games, phenomenal. Way better pitching than what we've had pretty much over the weekend. A ton of studs out there. So I love the pitching in this one. Overall, pitching today is almost, if not as good as opening day. So St. Louis, Pittsburgh, got Skeens versus Gray. So we got Skeens coming in. 2 really good starts. 1 fantastic start against Tampa Bay with 6 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts there. We did take him as one of our bets on the website, 6+ strikeouts, and that's what he got there. So now he's facing St. Louis. Last year, 0-2 record against them, but only 1.31 ERA. So he did not get any run support from the Pirates. Pitched 20 innings there, 10.02 strikeouts per 9. No run support to help him out. The walks were very limited as well. So in this one, I'm not really looking at St. Louis bats. Or Arenado has a home run against him, and that's basically it. And then, I mean, if you want to fade him because of how expensive he is and how his ownership will be, I would look at Arenado. I would look at Mason Wynn, Burleson, and Donovan if I were stacking in this one. But personally, I will be playing Pittsburgh. And by Pittsburgh, I mean I will be playing Skeens 100%. Then not 100%, but you know what I mean. Then you see that Sonny Gray, we've used him. We used him his last start. And in that start against the Angels, 6 innings, but he gave up 5 earned runs. But he still had 17.3 because he had 9 strikeouts. So had he not given up any runs, we're probably looking at 30 plus out of him. And he was 7,800. He now goes up against a Pittsburgh team that, they walked it off against the Yankees on Sunday, but they've been playing pretty much the kind of ball that we expected. What's wild is they have one of the best pitchers on the planet, if not the best pitcher on the planet, and they didn't do anything to boost this offense, which seems wild to me. Pittsburgh's 3-7 right now. It's not good. It's not good. So looking at this, I would probably lean Skeens. Sonny Gray, though, did have success against them last year. 1-0 record, 3.55 earned runs per 9, had 12.2 innings. So 2 starts, average 12. I could see this being a 1-0 game. I could see this being a very low-scoring game, going to possibly extra innings. I think Skeens is your number 1, but obviously Sonny Gray is up there as well. He is the 3rd highest priced pitcher on the slate, and I think that's probably where I would go on that one. Dodgers at Washington, this has not been confirmed with Robleski and with... So Robleski has been... Okay, so Robleski and Landon Knack will both join the Dodgers this week to fill in 2 opening. Blake Snell on the IL. And, okay, so looking at this, I don't know how far he's going to go into a game. Does have a plus matchup here. It really depends on if they're going to let him go through and pitch. If he could get 6 innings, obviously that is what we'd look at. And then Lord, they thought it would be Tuesday or Monday. Did not start him. This one is one that I would look at the Dodgers bats here. I don't know if it's even going to be Brad Lord, but obviously the Dodger stack makes sense. So in this one, I would look at Robleski, and I would look at the Dodgers as a stack. Washington bats, if I were to look at any, James Wood, CJ Abrams, Bell, Luis, could go. That's probably it. I don't love this matchup here. And I don't know how much I'll play of this, but Robleski would be the way to go just because I think he will get the run support. Problem is, how far will he go into this game? We do not know. And then the final game on this afternoon slate here, you got Toronto at Boston. We got Crochet versus Lucas. Lucas was scheduled yesterday, but then did not. Yeah. So looking at that, whether or not this is going to be, it's been confirmed. So for whatever reason, they did not go with him. Going up against Boston, the way we kind of talked about it, I would look at Boston bats there. Crochet, obviously, a great matchup here. Baltimore, 8 innings in that game, 8 strikeouts, 35 fantasy points. I just don't see him staying healthy the whole year, but I want to take it like what we can going against him. I would look at Crochet, and I would look at the Boston bats against Lucas. So the bats I would look at probably would be Alex Bregman, who won Player of the Week last week. I would look at him. You could look at, depending on the starters, Rafaela, David Hamilton, we talked about. It'd be a cheap option in a stack that I think might go under-owned. But looking at that, Boston bats, it's not Barrios. It has been updated. David Hamilton would be a cheap option if he gets the start. Christian Campbell obviously makes sense. Jalen Duran makes sense. Bregman makes sense. Devers maybe, but you're still paying a pretty premium for Devers. And he's still, I mean, he is starting to come along, but he did have an abysmal start. That's my only problem there. So if we're looking at this early slate here, Skeens, Crochet, and Gray, I'm okay with. Maybe a little bit of Robleski if you need a cheap option there. Don't trust Lord if he is actually starting, and don't trust Lucas if he is actually starting as well. So batting-wise, Boston bats, Dodgers bats, obviously. It's probably the way I would go. Maybe look at Washington bats, depending on if, they have to go to the bullpen early. It really just depends. Then we've got the main slate. So what I did forget to mention for the new people here, towards the end of this video, I am going to give you all of the batters. I have a 10 out of 10 and 9 out of 10 matchup rating, and I'm building it out. It should be live for this slate. 2 pages, probably. Well, 1 page. It'll be built out like MLB DFS matchup tool or something like that to give the matchup rating out for you guys. So not available up until probably this slate. I started to build it yesterday, and it just took, something was wrong with it, so I've updated it. So moving to the main slate, we got the Angels at Tampa Bay. You got Shane Baz versus Kyle Hendricks. So Baz coming in here, or Baz coming in here. 1 start against Pittsburgh, fantastic start, 7 innings, 10 strikeouts. Obviously, he's not going to get that every single time, but 33.3 is fantastic there. Mike Trout has been, like, this Angels offense, they put up a bunch of runs this weekend against Cleveland. You got Kyle Hendricks on the other hand, mediocre, 4 strikeouts. That's basically what you're getting. It's kind of a boring play. He's not going to wow you. He's not going to get double-digit strikeouts. They did drop him down to 6,600. They are playing in a minor league field or spring training field for the Yankees as Tampa Bay's home team. So it's not Tropicana like we're used to when we're like, oh, Tampa Bay's at home. So the pitch, like the ballpark factors, a little bit different. We do have that on the website. You can kind of check out how the field has been doing. If we do look at how the field has been, that's kind of what I was looking at factor-wise, just kind of looking at the ballpark. And I wanted to see what ballpark it was. And it's not currently on here for some reason. And that's because it's not a major league ballpark. So they don't have all of the information that we possibly need, which kind of is unfortunate. So you could look back and you could look at how the games have done in this ballpark and see how many runs have gone. But we don't have that data right now. Neither pitcher has faced this team before, or last year they didn't face. Baz has never faced the Angels before. Against right-handed pitching, I would look at, if I were to stack, Mike Trout's been on fire. Let's take him while we can. Nolan Schanuel is another one that I would look at. Moncada is one. And Logan O'Hoppe would be the bats that I would look at if you don't go with Shane as your pitcher. And then Tampa Bay bats against Hendricks, not really much exposure whatsoever to him. Against the pitching, though, you can kind of see it. Tampa Bay is not the best. Kyle Hendricks for tournaments, okay. But Tampa Bay's offense, it's anemic when we need them, and then sometimes it does explode. So Brandon Lau, if I were to take any of these bats, it's Chris Morello at 17 bombs last year, but he only batted 208, so that's unfortunate. Brandon Lau would be another one. Probably Junior Caminero I would look at. That's it. Like, I don't love the offense here, and I really don't love Kyle Hendricks. This might just be a game that I fade completely. We could look at other teams we want to stack. All of that's on the cheat sheet, but it's just, as of right now, through 10,000 simulations, it's a game I'm fading, and I don't see another 10,000 simulations bumping me up from wanting to use that. So the next game, Miami at New York Mets. We've got Clay Holmes versus Connor Gillespie. So Holmes, not a very good start, his first start, but he did just face this team. His last start went 4.2 innings, 6 hits allowed, 1 earned run, 6 Ks, 2 walks, 15.7, 85 pitches. So he's been out there. He's 7,200. My only concern is usually when a team faces a pitcher, their last start, the team sometimes kind of gets a feel for what's coming. They just saw him, and they could take advantage of that. So overall, Clay Holmes at 7,200, cheap option for you. And then you got Connor Gillespie. He did face the Mets last week, 5 innings, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts, no walks, 18.9, was 6,000. Now they're in New York, which is a pitcher's park. I like both of these pitchers for tournaments. For tournaments, I am okay with the pitching. Offense-wise, that's a little bit different. Pitching for tournaments, good to go. Cash, I would not trust them. And yeah, I mean, looking at kind of what they did last week or what they've done, if I were to look at like Miami bats and you want to get a little bit crazy and you want to go like a Miami stack, I probably wouldn't do it, but I would look at Jonah Bride. I would look at Wagaman. I would look at Otto Lopez and Xavier Edwards if I were to go a stack, which at the moment probably won't be going Miami stack. And then the Mets versus Connor Gillespie. Haven't faced him, did really well last week. Had a good start. Obviously, the bats you would look at would be Lindor, Alonso, Soto. Obviously makes sense. A cheaper option. Two other cheap options would be Tyrone Taylor or Jesse Winker. But honestly, right now, through 10,000 simulations, both of these tournament picks, I'm okay with. Because you do Connor Gillespie at 6,000, you can do another pitcher right around 8,000 mark, and then you could have a pretty balanced lineup. Philly at Atlanta, you do have Zach Wheeler versus Chris Sale. Again, like I said, there's a ton of great pitching on this main slate. Wheeler coming in, 7 innings against Colorado, 1 earned run, 10 strikeouts. Washington, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, 25 plus fantasy points in both starts. Atlanta's offense has not looked ideal. They're not the team. They are not who we thought they were. So we look at that team, and Atlanta comes in. They're in dead last. Not an ideal start for them. And Zach Wheeler makes a ton of sense. He's very expensive. Going to be very highly owned. But Atlanta's offense has looked anemic to start the season. Very anemic. Not what we expected. And then Chris Sale comes in. Did not have his best stuff last week. Had 5 Ks, 3 earned runs. Has only gone 5 innings both times. Going up against a Philly team that they can hit. We know Chris Sale obviously won Cy Young last year. But back-to-back games that only go in 5 innings, giving up 3 earned runs in both of them, and 5. You would with Chris Sale's price, you need like 8 strikeouts. I don't know if he gets that there, but we can see how they've done in the past. Like last year, faced him once, 5.1 innings, did have a ton of strikeouts, but gave up earned runs as well. And then against him in their career, Kyle Schwarber has a home run, and that is it. Against left-handed pitching, though, the Phillies know what they're doing against left-handed pitching last year. Gio Realmuto, 4 bombs. Schwarber, 12 bombs, batted 300 against lefty on lefty matchup. He's one of those reverse splits guys that we could use. Alec Boehm, I would look at. Castellanos, obviously, and Trey Turner makes a ton of sense as well. I don't mind Brandon Marsh, only batted 192, but if he's in there, he'd be a cheap outfield option. And always Bryce Harper. Batted 301 with 9 bombs last year against left-handed pitching. So those are all looking good. And I'm okay with that. But I would probably look at Wheeler a little bit more and then maybe a Philly stack because I think a lot of people will be on Chris Sale. And I want to go against the grain on that one. Texas at Chicago's next. You got Patrick Corbin versus Jameson Taillon. Corbin, the fact that he had a huge contract with Washington, he then went to the Rangers and was in the minor leagues, which is wild that he's taken Jack Leiter's place, who is on the IL. This is in Chicago. And if you were with us last year, we made a ton of money when we took whatever team it was against Patrick Corbin. I feel like that's probably the same way. I don't know how deep he's going to go into the game. We look at, and then you got Jameson Taillon on the other side. We used him his last start against the Athletics. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. 23.3, probably would have had about 27, 28 on DraftKings had he not given up 2 earned runs and 3 walks. Might even be touching 30 there after a horrendous start against Arizona. Texas can hit, though. I think there could be a ton of runs in this game. Chicago bats against Corbin, like Carson Kelly has a home run. John Birdie has a home run. Dansby Swanson has a home run. Suzuki has 2 home runs. Tucker has a home run. Like, they have hit him very well. I would love to see 5 to 6 innings out of Corbin. Hopefully they just throw him out there. They won't. And I would love to see a Chicago stack going up against him. Chicago bats that I would look at would be Swanson, Suzuki, Kyle Tucker, Carson Kelly, I would assume starts this one. And I would look at Nico Horner as well. So the Cubs might be one of my favorite stacks. They're going to be very highly owned because it is Patrick Corbin. If you want to go against the grain because it is Patrick Corbin, you could get him cheap at 6,400. But I just don't know what to expect out of him considering he was in AAA and was not here. Texas bats against Taillon. Simeon has 2 home runs. Garcia has a home run. Peterson has a home run. Against right-handed pitching, we like to take Jock Peterson. We do. And in this ballpark, I would take him. I would look at Ezekiel Duran. I would look at Wyatt Langford, Taveras, and Corey Seager if I were to be stacking this. I'm probably stacking this game more than other games, both sides. I think the Cubs have the advantage, but I think the Texas bats are hot as well, and I think they could take Jameson Taillon deep multiple different times. Next game, Minnesota at Kansas City. Cole Ragans versus Pablo Lopez. Cole Ragans, not a good start against Cleveland. Fantastic start against Milwaukee. Had 10 strikeouts in that game. Against Minnesota, he obviously has not faced them this year, but in his career, 2-2 record last year, 188 or ERA, 11.62 strikeouts per 9 in 24 innings. I like that. He's got a great matchup. This is a pitcher's ballpark. I would be looking at Cole Ragans here. If you were to look at Minnesota bats, like they don't hit lefties as well. Like if you wanted to, Ryan Jeffers, we usually take against lefties. We usually take Correa against lefties. And Byron Buxton. That would be the only bats that I feel comfortable with. You got Larnack or Wallner that you could look at, but I really like Cole Ragans in this one. And then Pablo Lopez comes in. Fantastic start against Chicago White Sox. 7 innings, 5 strikeouts, 1 earned run. Obviously, this is a pitcher's park like we talked about, and they see each other each year because they're in the same division. But they have, for whatever reason, Kansas City has hit him. Perez has a home run, Biggio has a home run, Anna, Garcia, Bobby Witt all have home runs. Then you look at how this team does against righties. Pasquantino, I would look at. Bobby Witt Jr., Melendez, Renfroe, and Isbell, I think could be a weird, sneaky stack today up against Pablo Lopez. But again, both pitchers are fantastic options here. I would still rather lean Ragans, and they're at the same price range. So you could do both things with them. It's not like a price discrepancy to not be able to pay up at other positions. Milwaukee at Colorado. We look at this game. Now, again, it's Coors. You don't really want to ever take pitchers in Coors because it is Coors. It's Kyle Freeland. Kyle Freeland last year, 5.24 ERA. Pretty much what you would expect for a Coors pitcher. Did well, though. 1 start in 6 innings against Milwaukee, but I don't trust him. Then you got Freddie Peralta. So Peralta's up there, coming off 2 fantastic starts against 2 really good teams, 8 strikeouts a game. But the price, 7,800 in Coors, scares me a little bit just because if you get the bat on the ball, it flies out of this stadium. Tournaments, Freddie Peralta, I think will go under owned because it is Coors. So I would look at him. Then you got Freeland. he's done well the first game against Tampa Bay, 7 strikeouts. The game against Philly with 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 6.2 innings. So he's gone deep into games. He's gone at least 6 innings of both starts. Just did not have much there. He's 5,000 here. So if you want to throw him in there because he's so cheap, you're able to pay up at other positions. I'm okay with that. But normally we like to take Milwaukee bats against lefties. William Contreras last year batted .313. Kind of a slow start to the season. Eric Hossie would be a cheap option. Rhys Hoskins would be another one I would look at. Garrett Mitchell, and maybe a little bit of Christian Yelich. But those would be the ones I'd look at. A Milwaukee stack makes sense, but it's going to be very expensive to be able to pay up for a Coors game for bats the majority of the time. So before we get into the next game, which is Baltimore and Arizona, the keyword of the day is water. H2O, water. It is water, not anything else. So we got Merrill Kelly versus Charlie Morton. Both of these pitchers have not been ideal in one of their starts. Charlie Morton had a really good start against Boston. His last start had 10 strikeouts in that game. Still gave up 5 earned runs, had 16.5. So he's been giving up runs. He gave up 4 against Toronto with only 3 strikeouts. Both of these offenses, though, I'm probably off of the pitching. Their Merrill Kelly got dominated by the Yankees. 9 earned runs. They kept him out there. But the Yankees tried to give this game back. Looking at that, I would look at both offenses. I would not look at the pitching. Obviously, the Baltimore offense, I would give a little bit more of a boost to, just because of how bad Merrill Kelly was. Against him, no one's really done much. Tyler O'Neill has a home run. But against right-handed pitching, I would be stacking Baltimore. It depends on the lineup that comes out. But Cedric Mullins, Westberg, O'Hearn, Mountcastle, Gunnar Henderson, Adley, Jackson Holiday, I'm okay with all of those. I do not trust Merrill Kelly. I'll have 0.0% exposure to him. And then Charlie Morton, not a ton of success against him, but Arizona's been hitting. Suarez has a home run against him, and Grichuk does. Against right-handed pitching, you can kind of see what you're looking at. I would look at Josh Naylor. I would look at Eugenio Suarez, Corbin Carroll. Obviously, he's been hitting the ball well. Also can steal bases for you if you were to go with a stack in this instance. So if you are looking for stacks as well, they are in our cheat sheet, which is part of FTA+. So the next game, we've got Houston at Seattle. As of right now, it's Framber Valdez, but he's got a little tummy ache and he's got a sore throat and some fatigue. So he might not be pitching. And even if he does come out there and he doesn't feel 100%, this is to be announced. I don't know what to expect out of him. I don't know if it's even going to be him, so we can't really talk about it. Then you got Luis Castillo. Really good start against Detroit. And you come into that. And so I do know the Mariners, they struck out a ton last year. This year, they're in the middle. So they've changed a little bit. Castillo in his career, he's been pretty good against him. Jordan has a home run against him. Paredes has a home run. That's basically it. I don't mind. That's kind of what I'm looking at. I would look at Luis Castillo as one of my starters. I don't trust what I was saying before the dogs barked. If I were to take Houston, Jordan's, very slow start to the season. Very, very slow. But if you wanted to go a Houston stack, you're always going to look at Jordan in there. You would look at Altuve, Yainer Diaz, I'm okay with, Jeremy Pena, Christian Walker. They all did very well last year against right-handed pitching. Obviously, we need more data. We need about a month's worth of data to kind of feel how they've been doing in the handedness, and that's when Outlier will update. So it'll be 2025. You'll get the updates, how they faced, and it'll feel a little bit better. So Castillo, though, for tournaments, I am 100% okay with as my pitcher. Don't know if it's going to be Valdez. If it is, and we're good and we can guarantee that he's not sick, he's got a good matchup against Seattle. but we can't break down Seattle because I don't know if it's 100% Framber yet. So obviously that'll take care of everything when we do our simulations. We'll figure out, we do 10,000. We've already done 10,000 now. We do another 10,000 a couple hours before the lineups lock, and we should have the news for Houston by then. Cincy at San Francisco, you got Nick Lodolo versus Landon Raup. Pretty good against Houston, 4 innings, 8 strikeouts, but 4 walks really screwed him over. 6,800 and he went to 14.2. If he could, limit the walks at 7,300 in this ballpark, this is a pitcher's ballpark, I'd be okay with that. But it's very scary. Cincinnati's bats overall have been quite cold. And this is a pitcher's ballpark. Landon Raup for 7,300 could be a steal today. You do have Nick Lodolo here. We used him in last start against Milwaukee. 6.2 innings, 4 strikeouts, no earned runs, 20.6, 8,500 in a pitcher's ballpark. I am okay with this one. Not really looking at the offenses right now. I would look at Lodolo here and Raup for both tournament options, not cash. And honestly, at the moment, I don't see any San Francisco bats or Cincy bats that I would want. Probably until Cincy starts hitting, that I'd feel more comfortable with. Then the final game, you got San Diego at the Athletics. You got Dylan Cease versus Jeffrey Springs. So Jeffrey Springs, not ideal against the Cubs. 3 innings, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. The start before that, we took him against Seattle because Seattle struck out a ton last year. And all he did was go 6 innings for 9 Ks. I'm off of Jeffrey Springs here. Now, my problem is, historically last year, San Diego did not hit lefties well. They hit righties better. I just don't trust Jeffrey Springs. Then you have Dylan Cease. Fantastic start against Cleveland. Mid-start against Atlanta. Comes in against the Athletics. And we can kind of see. Now, again, numbers are skewed a little bit because they're not playing in the Oakland Coliseum, or O.co. Last year against Athletics, 1-0 record, 1.5 earned ERA, 12 strikeouts, 6 innings. I could see something along those lines. So I would be looking at Dylan Cease, and then I would look at San Diego bats. Against Springs, like Bogarts has a home run, that is it. Against lefties, you can see they just don't hit very well. Jose Iglesias, I could look at if he gets the start. I don't know if he will. Machado, I would look at a little bit. Tatis and Jackson Merrill. That's it. But I do not trust Jeffrey Springs enough to warrant feeling comfortable to put him in a lineup there. There you have it. Those are all of the games broken down. We are now going to give you all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulations. This will be on the website by main slate lock for you. We're going to do 10 out of 10. If you want to see the 9 out of 9, 8 out of 8, and so on and so forth, you guys can check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. It'll be under the MLB tab as well. It'll be part of the FTA Plus, so if you want to check it out, you can. We still have 2 spots available. Instead of $199 for the yearly pass, you can get it for $99 if you email me today. Someone did email me, but they have not gotten back. So if you guys get it before them, you will get it for $99. So dfshelp1@gmail.com. Then here we go. Here are all of the batters, the top batter. Number 1, it's got Gunnar Henderson. Number 2, Bobby Witt Jr. Number 3, Jose Ramirez. 4, Jordan Westberg. 5, Brandon Lau. 6, Juan Soto. 7, Pete Alonso. 8, Alex Bregman. 9, Kyle Tucker. 10, Stephen Kwan. 11, Tristan Casas. 12, Carlos Santana. 13, Yordan Alvarez. 14, Andrew Benintendi. 15, Nico Horner. And 16, Jesse Winker. Now, I'm very surprised there's only 2 Cubs on here going up against Patrick Corbin. The list probably will change through 10,000 simulations, so I will let you guys know. Check. Normally, the simulations and projections and cheat sheet and all of that, check about an hour or an hour and a half before tip-off, or first pitch, sorry. That's when we update everything, and we rerun the simulations to get as much of the news that is broke between the 10,000 simulations and the 20,000. So that's what I have in this video for you today, guys. If you want to check it out, if there are certain things you would like to see, let me know. If you want these videos to be a little bit different, also let me know that. Check the link in the description for the free Discord. We give a couple of plays out for value, or for 4 plays, and a couple of plays for value, straight off our cheat sheet. So we've got a ton of information for you. We do give some free information out as well on top of these videos. So that is what I've got. Let's have a fantastic Tuesday. Good luck betting, playing DFS, whatever you're doing. Let's have fun, but most importantly, bring home that bacon. Peace.